Good evening. These are the stories making the headlines in the Hot 7 Nightly News. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court delivers its judgment and delves a blow to the case of seniors employed with the loan power company Lucelec. Students express their fears concerning crimes in the vicinity of their schools and call on police to do more to keep them safe. And members of the LGBT community attending a conference here in St. Lucia extend an olive branch to reggae icon Buju Banton. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
It is Wednesday, the 12th of December 2018. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. I am Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court has delivered its ruling in relation to a case brought forward by Lucelec contesting a decision by the Labour Tribunal regarding the application of the retirement age. The CSA and its members who are employed with Lucelec argued that the retirement age should be 65 based on the NIC Act, and that's in accordance with the law. However, Lucelec had argued that according to its Grade 1 private pension scheme in employees' contracts of employment, the retirement age is 60 years. The employees argued that a retirement age of 60 would mean reduced pension with meager returns that would significantly impact their livelihoods. Lucelec, on the other hand, argued that if the retirement age was deemed 65, they would incur $8 million more to retain employees who had reached the age of 60. The Labour Tribunal ruled that the retirement age is 65 in accordance with the NIC Act. That judgment was in favor of Lucelec employees. Now, the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court has quashed that ruling, saying that the employees who were contracted prior to the 1st of August 2012 are subject to the company's contract, and therefore the age of retirement is 60 years. Both Lucelec and the CSA are reviewing the judgment. We will bring you more on this developing story in a subsequent newscast. Moving on, in other news, as the nation continues to push through a recent upsurge in crime, a group of youngsters from schools in and around known troubled hotspots expressed their concerns about making daily trips to and from the areas where they go to school. Rochelle Gonzalez tells us more.
The children, as they say, are the future. So what does one say when that very future is threatened by acts of senseless violence? Well, Hot 7 went directly to the source to find out how they feel about having to traverse known danger zones daily to go to and from school.
To be honest, I feel like kind of unsafe because like any mad person can just start shooting at any random person, and the person that they're not aiming for, you can get hit, and then that's ended up you in the hospital.
I don't really feel anyway. Well, for some people they might feel threatened and like intimidated by that and stop walking down or want to take bus, but that'll not stop it. They'll just continue and they'll be clever and doing their things in secret.
I am concerned with my schoolmates and the neighboring schools who are using that route to go home or to get to their buses, because there are lots of killings and stabbings happening on the way, so yeah, I'm very concerned.
One of the students had some choice words about the local police force, where student safety during and after school hours is concerned.
Do you think that the members of the Royal St. Lucia Police or the authorities should be doing more to protect students?
Yes.
Why?
Because all the police forces, like, they've been lazy, so they, like, for example, if there is a robbery in Enchipo, like recently there was one, the police just came and asked questions. They didn't bother to find who did it or what happened specifically. So yeah, I really think they are lazy.
Over the years, in addition to the violence, dozens of students have been robbed at gun and knife point in the area surrounding the Enchipo, Leon Hess and St. Joseph's Convent secondary schools. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. Hot 7 News took to the streets to speak to members of different inner city communities to find out what they think can be done among themselves to play a role in reducing the violence occurring in their communities. Whilst the feelings of dejection and concern are high, the common solution is education and employment.
As all eyes look to the government of St. Lucia and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to tackle the quickly rising crime crisis, Hot 7 News spoke to members of inner city communities, otherwise known as crime hotspots, to ask them what they think they could do among themselves to lessen tensions. An elder in the Wilton's Yard community said he is not happy about the current crime situation. However, he questioned whether one person can do anything to solve the problem.
It did take in one person to just stay one side and say, oh, these guys are a set of criminals and things like that. What makes the criminal? What trigger what is happening? What's the reason for that? The foundation of that? You have to find out the roots of these things and then start to work it out. But one or two, some people are being careless too in this thing. Real, some other people are being careless, you know. Because if you see the youths on a track, whether the track is right, you have full right to try and caution them. Tell them, well, because you yourself, it's any way you go want to see out tomorrow, because as a man like me right now, it's time for me to enjoy myself. I'm 67 years old, it's time for me to enjoy myself and feeling like that. I work, I have my children, I have grandchildren, I have great-grandchildren. It's time for me to cool myself and enjoy myself. But right now, with the speed it is there now, you're not feeling safe nowhere.
Today's youth, he said, have many opportunities that the folks of yesteryear could only dream about, yet they are taking it all for granted.
In my time, the opportunities that maybe the youths have now, I wouldn't be able to get that. Because of my status, the place where I came from and my parents and things like that, man like me couldn't go to college. Because I would have to first go to a scholarship class. There was nothing like common entrance. For you to go into college, you have to go in a scholarship class in the RC Boys School. And in scholarship class, it wouldn't have people like me. It's going to be rich people that is going to be there to go to college. But in this time, now, they have everything in front of them. Everything is just their mind, make their mind work. And if the youths could work their mind so powerful and cause them so many things, if they start working their mind positively, you will see how good St. Lucia could come. All the youths have to start thinking more positively. This crime thing ain't taking us nowhere.
One Cicero resident said it is easier said than done when expecting persons to come forward to report crime. He said education is a must to show the younger generation that there are better alternatives to crime.
In the communities, a lot of the citizens are aware of who that doing the crime, right? But they have repercussions to somebody coming and say they saw John or they saw Jill. So I think they have a lot of fear for that. People know what's happening, but you not come out and speak, and then after you're in fear of your life, you have to watch where you're walking and stuff like that. So it comes down to that. To me, the community could counsel the fellas or the suspects or the people they suspect that are doing crime. They could come to them and try to plead with them, talk to them, create an avenue for them, But I know things really getting a kind of way, my boss. Things really a kind of way in the country now there. The young fellas want to turn to crime one time, They're shooting there. But I think the community have a big role to play, because the community that know them. You check what I'm telling you. So we as a community, we could talk to them, try and give them a job, even cutting grass or something other than crime.
Less than 1 week ago, there have been 3 homicides in the Wilton's Yard community, which is infamously known as the Graveyard. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Minister within the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Industries, Fortuna Belrose, says members of the public can look forward to an exciting Christmas celebration in the city of Castries with the Festival of Lights. She urges citizens not to be deterred from showing their full support for St. Lucia's traditions due to criminal elements.
I think that our police will respond appropriately. They do have a master plan for the city, and of course they have assured us that they will be keeping the city safe during the events that we have. So we're quite comfortable with that.
The Festival of Lights, which features various displays like a lantern parade, lighting of the park and fireworks, takes place on the Derek Walcott Square this evening. The event will be followed by National Day celebrations at the George V Park on Thursday, the 13th of December. Is the government backtracking on the Castries demolition plan that incorporates 3 buildings? Not so, says Prime Minister Alan Chasney. However, he has revealed that a review of the plan is underway. Earlier this year, he told St. Lucians that they could expect a rollout of the demolition plan by year-end. Prime Minister Alan Chasney had put citizens on notice that change was coming to the city of Castries by year-end. The Prime Minister's demolition plan for the city unnerved many sections of society. He has given an update on the stated plan to revamp the city centre by tearing down the Parliament building, the government printery and the old courthouse. According to him, the government is still awaiting a final plan for how it will move ahead with the vision. There have been suggestions to incorporate the buildings into a modern design for the city rather than demolish them. But the Prime Minister argues that plans to do away with the structures date back to the 4-quadrant vision plan espoused by Sir John Compton.
Since 2008, we have a new factor, which is resilience, and so that has to be taken into consideration. In the draft that I saw, the part of clearing off this area was still intact. So once we've gotten the final plan approved, we'll start proceeding. And we've been in negotiations all this week with partners in terms of how we're going to replace these buildings. But the fact is that both in the 2008 plan and also in the plan that we have, it calls for the removal of the printery, the Parliament and also the courthouse.
Some have touted the sentimental value and strategic location of the buildings as an argument for no demolition. The Prime Minister views it from a far more pragmatic viewpoint.
Only 8 people in the Parliament building right now. There's nobody in the courthouse. And we have 26 people located in the printery. And as I said, we're going to be changing the format of the printery. And instead of us actually printing things, we'll be in the process of consolidating all the requests throughout government, because what we've seen is a lot of ministries are actually doing their own printing, even outsourcing of their printing, and so we don't think that that's the most effective way.
In place of the Parliament building, the government printery and the courthouse, the Prime Minister's vision is for a national park. He says this plan is in keeping with the modernization of cities the world over. He insists needed changes are coming to the city of Castries under his government. The ECADE has extended an olive branch to newly freed dancehall artiste Buju Banton. The rep says the artist's infamous song was written decades ago, and she is sure that Banton's mindset has changed since. She also believes that the LGBT community should give him another chance.
Is the LGBTQI community ready to let bygones be bygones and forgive dancehall/reggae artist Buju Banton for his infamous mega hit Boom Bye Bye? Well, according to the Eastern Caribbean Alliance for Diversity and Equality, ECADE, it would appear that at least one portion of the community is ready to move on. Banton, real name Mark Anthony Myrie, wrote the song at the age of 15 and released it 4 years later in 1992. The controversial song caused outrage among the LGBTQI community as it allegedly incited violence and even killings of members of the said community. On Wednesday, ECADE's Communication and Programs Officer Maria Fontenelle said the time has come to make peace.
People change and grow. They know better, they do better. So we're waiting to see what he's going to promote on this side of his life and this side of his career, how he's going to come and what he's going to focus on. Because in addition to that song, Buju also has a lot of positive music. He has a lot of vibe that we as Caribbean people acknowledge and appreciate coming from where we do as African-descended people. But also we need to also recognize as African-descended people, we also have a history of people who, of all types of sexualities, of all types of families, single-parent families, double parents of the same sex raising children, extended families with grandparents raising children and having the children in the house as well and the grandchildren. So we need to recognize we as people, as Caribbean people, as African descended people, and we hope that he, as one of those people, brings that to his new music, and we wish him the best, wish him success, and look forward to something really positive.
Fontenelle said the gravity of the song has and will have a lasting impact on the community.
The song that he wrote, we know the name of the song, we know what it promotes. It has very, very, very graphic promotion of violence against gay people simply because they are gay, and just really asking the audience to go and execute that violence against gay people. And we are not, of course, in favor of any kind of violence against any person for any reason, particularly simply for being who they are. So that song we have condemned really strongly in the past. There was the Stop the Murder Music campaign, which following which actually he signed an agreement saying that he would not promote that kind of violence. He did write the song when he was 15. Which is ages ago, and subsequent to that, he performed it a lot of times. Up to today, we hear that song. We go Grizzly Friday night. We go to clubs across the world, and you hear that song. Not so much in the more developed world where people recognize the effect of hate speech, but in the Caribbean, you hear that song still, and people still react to it.
Fontenelle said members of the LGBTQI community should have a balanced outlook on the artist's return to the music scene. She urged persons to not paint him with a brush from the past and that they should wait to see what sort of music he releases rather than chastise him. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Still to come, the tourism minister seeks to reassure former employees of Blue Hotel after their sudden job losses. An impassioned plea to treat decent housing as a basic human right for citizens, and pedestrians are put on blast. The details are coming up after the break.